Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
What's the worst financial decision you've seen someone make? Put everything in his GF's name to hide assets as he owed the IRS. The GF sold his business, cashed out his accounts and ran. My SO's father did this, sold his business to an employee for $1 to hide it during his divorce. And was shocked when suddenly, the guy didn't magically give it back. He lost his entire business and inventory for $1. He was an abusive asshole, so couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Does that even work? Even if the person you sold your business to doesn't screw you over, I can't imagine the court just accepts that you sold your business for $1. Here in Ontario, if you sell a car, you have to pay the taxes on what it's worth, not what is claimed on the bill of sale. I imagine such laws exist elsewhere. My awful aunt was the trustee for my grandparents' estate. When they passed, she decided to sell their house to a random realtor who put a leaflet on the door. To the realtor, not with the realtor. It wasn't put on the market. And the aunt rejected a matching offer by me after I argued hard to actually list the house and have people bid on it. The realtor slapped a new coat of paint on it and sold it a couple of months later for literally $1 million more than she bought it for. But she breached her fiduciary duty and you could have taken her to court for it. Edit. The aunt, not the realtor. Yeah, I should have, but there was a lot going on at the time. I had newborn twins with 2 pre-existing kids already at home. And I was grieving the loss of my grandfather, who was one of my best friends my entire life. There were also more beneficiaries involved, so the personal loss to myself wasn't the full $1 million. Not that it wouldn't still be worth it. But with everything going on at the time, I just didn't have it in me. And as you can probably imagine, my aunt would have dragged it out and fought tooth and nail to the bitter end. It was probably worth it for me to be able to cut that branch of the family off and walk away, rather than have to deal with them in such a manner for God knows how long. Edit. My friends. The pre-existing descriptor was clearly meant as a joke. Apply for a $5,000 loan. Didn't accept quick enough, so applied for another $5,000 loan. Both got accepted and ended up gambling it all. Okay, but did they win is the real question. Nothing. $10,000 debt now lol. My brother's ex fell for a Craigslist scam. She found a motorcycle and the guy needed money up front to pay bills before she even saw it. We told her don't do it. It's a scam. She said she already sent $1,000. Of course. He was never available to show her the bike, and we found out from my brother after they broke up. She actually continued sending him money in hopes of getting the motorcycle. I think she was out $3,000 by the end. My ex-husband got cheated out of tens of thousands of dollars just by being an over-trusting and underthinking seller. He had always wanted a piano his entire life. And one day a friend's father had passed and left them an incredibly amazing and very old piano that she had no use for, so gifted to him. He loved that thing so much. Tuned it and fixed it up. Then a giant ball of tragedies struck that put us in very bad financial situation, causing us to no longer afford where we were currently living and having to move to his family's old home, which is off the mainland and on an island. Being that the only way to get anything moved was by ship and extremely expensive, he had to sell a lot of things. And much to his dismay, the piano was just too big and too heavy to afford to ship there. So he put out a listing to sell it for a very reasonable price. It was an antique, in spectacular condition, made in the early 1900s and was worth at the very least $80,000. He listed it for a fraction of what it was worth due to time constraint on having to get rid of it before the move. Someone contacted him and offered to buy it. And here is where he did something monumentally stupid. The buyer offered to have a truck come and pick up the piano in a very quick time frame and asked if it would be alright to give my husband $1,000 up front and then the rest in 2 weeks when they got paid. I know he was under a lot of stress, but damn, that was dumb. You do not let anyone walk away with an incredibly valuable item without it being paid in full. As I'm sure no one here is shocked by. The person never paid anything else on the piano and just disappeared. The money from that sale alone was pretty much all we were going to have to live off of until he was able to secure a new job in the new location. Scammers are truly awful and many people need to learn not to be so trusting. It's sad, but it's just how it is. That seems like it is getting to be a large enough theft to warrant an investigation into who that was and his information from whatever social media that happened on. Did the police not do anything? I know they were normally basically ignore car thefts, etc. But this seems like there should have been a trail to work from. What a stupid dumbass. My former sister-in-law had a thriving medical practice. She got so stressed that she joined the Scientologist and started taking their classes. She opened up 5-6 credit cards without telling my brother, maxed the cards out with hundreds of thousands in cash withdrawals, and gave it to that cult. Yeah, but did she rid herself of her harmful body thetans? Edit. I fixed the spelling of the invented magical beings to align with the great L. Ron Hubbard's true intentions. The last thing I want to do is engage her in conversation on the subject. First, the entire notion drives me crazy. Second, I don't have a good poker face. A woman of science falling big for a very unscientific Scientology cult. That organization is evil. It's a lesson that all of us have vulnerabilities. Intelligence is not an automatic safeguard. Helps for sure, but not a preventative, and we shouldn't assume it can't happen to us for X reason.